Welcome to another programming exam solution tutorial for the 2015 Comp 1 exam. Sorry I've not produced any for a little while, and obviously we're getting quite close to the exam, but I really want to do a couple of them. I'm going to do save game, and I also want to do my sort of roundup of other little things I think you ought to have played with before the exam. So we're going to look at save game today. Specifically, we're going to be looking at saving to a text file. There are a number of possibilities of the way of doing this. The two that I think are most likely. The easiest one, just dump the whole board. One element per line to a text file. Dead easy. Couple of nested loops. And then just use far right line to write the contents. That's what we're going to do in this particular video. I will also wang up a video in a few moments about a slightly trickier version, slightly nicer, where you just save the contents of the board that actually have pieces on there. So, whereas the easy one, obviously we'll always be saving 64 lines. This will be saving at most 32, and of course if there's only two pieces left, it could just be saving that. Obviously the tricky one's slightly trickier, but I'll go over the solution to that when we actually do it. Now both of the solutions clearly require a way of somehow the user saying, I want to save that file. Both of them have to have a way of opening that file, and of course we'll add an option to get type of game, and we will be using the initialize board procedure to also enable us to open the file and actually show what's being done. Now, the other thing we need to kind of work out is what happens after you save the game. There isn't currently a quit option, is there? So do we need to give a quit option afterwards? My feeling is that the game carries on as normal, but probably we need to add a quit or surrender option to the game so that you can actually exit at any point. And the obvious one for that would be 0-0. So that's what we're going to do. Let's have a look at the solution. Okay, so the first things first, I've just added a little bit of text in get type of game. Because I'm working with the base code here, there's no validation. Clearly, if you've been asked to do some validation, you'd need to work with that, but you don't need to in this case, so let's just kill that. You saw a simple bit of text there. And then I have just commented out the initial code, and I've got my call to get type of game. I don't have to touch this. This still works if it's an L or an S or whatever it happens to be, because it's already there. So I've actually sorted out the load game part of it. We'll come back to that. The other bit I've had to add right from the word go is in get move, whereby I've just said enter a 99 if you want to save. So that's just like the basic text that we would need to add in terms of user dialog for loading and saving. So we'll zoom back up to actually how we handle those inputs. In terms of how we handle the saving, I've had to add in an if statement. So I've said if start square is 99, then call this, and obviously then else the normal stuff. So this is what was currently in the loop, and all I've added in is this if else statement, and with a condition on 99. Again, we could have done it another way. It's just a bit of a pain because these two are integers. So if I was starting to use an S rather than the 99, then I'd have to change the data type. It'd be a real pain. So I'm going to use 99, and then I'm going to call this. This does not need to change at all. That's going to carry on as normal. Crucially, because we won't have move is legal being handled, this will actually come back around the loop, so that once we've saved the game, it will come back to try and get the move, even though it's not, but it won't say it's not a legal move. It'll just start by this. That's quite neat in terms of how it's handling this process. Right, we better go to have a look at the simple save game, which is the main part of it. So, simple save game, exactly as I said before. We've got a little element that asks them to enter a file name. We've created that as a string. We're obviously passing the board because that's what we're going to be saving. So that's how you pass an array into a procedure. Funnily enough, it doesn't matter whether you do by val or by ref, because of course an array is a reference type. So, but I've put by val because officially we're not changing the board. So let's just leave that. I've then used the classic little structure, rank, file, 1 to 8, 1 to 8, and I'm simply printing that. I'm using print line because in VB, if I use write line, it puts quotes around it, which is just a bit of a pain to handle. So it's just easier to use print line. I've obviously been careful to close the file at the end. I'm assuming that I don't need to explain to you how to use this file open procedure. If your teacher has been showing you how to use the stream writer, perfectly acceptable. Just use the stream writer object and write to that as you normally would. Hopefully be able to interpret how to do that if using different file methods. There's obviously loads of them in VB. So that would have then saved the game and it would magically pump you back into the game. We'll just quickly show you how that works. Let's start the game and we'll go to a sample game, so we'll say yes. Bob. There's a sample game there, and normally it's gone off the screen, so let's make it a little bit wide. I can't make it wide without changing the properties, but you can see it says enter 99 if you want to save it, so we'll go 99. I'm just going to go 99 for this just so it doesn't crash, and it says that, so I'm going to go Bob, Bob, and that's saved. How do I know it's saved? Because if I go to the correct place, Bob Falls appeared. I look at it in Notepad, and you can see that it's there. Lots and lots and lots of spaces, and there's 64 lines, with on each line the thing being saved. Job done. Almost. Because we're blinking, we'll load it, haven't we? So I've already shown you where on get type of game you can add the actual user dialogue, and then all you need to do is add in something that says if you want to load it. In fact, you do it down in initialize board. Where are we? That if you want to load it, that they will have entered L for sample game. It's a bit clumsy, isn't it? But that's how the game's working at the moment. And then you simply say, oh, look what I've done. I've copied and pasted that bit of code from the save game, being careful to change all the outputs to inputs and to reads. But other than that, it's exactly the same, and that would happily load up the board, which of course would be identical to the sample game at the moment, because that's all I saved. The only thing we haven't really handled is how we quit the game after saving. But I want to save that for my sort of bits and bobs video of things you ought to be able to do. Not massively hard, but I'd rather not do it in this video. Hopefully you found that useful. A little bit rushed, so hopefully it made sense. But it's very, very neat, and it's got sort of 4 or 5 elements to it. So it's actually, if it came up, it'd be worth quite a lot of marks. Yeah, Hope you find it useful.